Hey everybody, there's my kind of actors, and then there's my kind of actors. And this is definitely one of them. And that's why we're going to sit here today for just a brief moment and take a look back at the career of Gerald Tommaso DeLuise, who you all better know as Burt Young. He was born back in 1940, got into some trouble when he was in high school, joined the Marines, became a professional boxer, and his record was from 12 and 0 to whatever and 0. But they say he went undefeated. And I guess that makes him the only person in all those Rocky flicks until they hit, Tommy Morrison, that was an actual fighter. But he had something that just gravitated you to the screen. He had something that made you watch him. He only took up acting to impress a girl, honestly, and wound up becoming one of Lee Strasberg's students. And from there, he went on to be in a list of motion pictures from the 70s and 80s and even 90s that are so ingrained and part of a lot of our lives that I thought we would just take a quick look back. First off, he was in the gang that couldn't shoot straight back in 1971. From there, he went on to be in Chinatown in 74, The Gambler in 74 also. And then, of course, he played Mac in 1975's The Killer Elite, which is a movie I reviewed, and you just know it's incredible. And from there, in 1976, he went on to get the character that defined his life, really, where he played Paulie, the sidekick to one Rocky Balboa. And not just that movie, but all the Rocky Balboa movies. Other than Stallone, I think he was in all of them, and he's the only one other than Stallone to be in all of them. From there, he went on to be in motion pictures like Convoy, which I've all reviewed, in which he played Pigpen, the tough but lovable trucker helping out the rubber duck. From there, he went on to be in things like Blood Beach and Amityville 2, The Possession, and Once Upon a Time in America and The Pope of Greenwich Village, and Back to School, and Betsy's Wedding, and The Forgotten Little Excessive Force with Thomas Ian Griffith, who I'm a fan of, like his work, and this was a great movie that not a lot of people have seen. He did other stuff. He was a playwright. He was an artist. But what he really was a guy that could encapsulate a man who really would almost be unlikable in most situations, whether it was the Paulie character, whether it was the Mac character. He played that guy that just had that beaten down by life and angry tension about him. He just had that permeating every pore of his body. When you seen him on screen, no matter what role he was in, you would say to yourself, there was nobody else that could have played this role but Burt Young. Because past that tension-ridden, past that fire plug, angry exterior, he always knew how to give almost all characters a humanity and a sympathy and a sorrow that not many actors could effectively pull off. One of the great sins that's probably been ever created in film was in the Rocky Balboa motion picture, where they left the scene on the cutting room floor, but he talked about, after his sister's death, Adrian obviously, how he had done her wrong so many times, and how much he really did love her, and how much it broke his heart that he never told her those things. And just to see him open that side of that character up, in that one scene which sadly never made the motion picture, is heartbreaking, and just showed you the range and the depth of what this man could do. There's very few actors that when you look at them on the screen, you can say, I believe everything that is coming out of this guy. I believe all the life experiences have happened to this character that I'm looking at. And I believe every word is coming from the heart. Burt Young had that talent. Burt Young had that skill. And more than anything, for me, he will always be a part of some of my favorite motion pictures of all times. The Rocky franchise, Convoy, The Killer Elite, and God knows he popped up in enough television back in the day too. So, without anything else left to say, to the one and only Burt Young, who I can't imagine my young movie-loving life without. We just say, job well done, and go on to your just rewards, my friend. Take care.